Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing really well. So let us discuss Bennet's impact and generally why I don't use him on my account. So just to get this clear right from the start, you are well within your rights to use the best character in the game. There's nothing wrong with using Bennett. What I'm about to say generally only applies to my account. So the first reason is I've got lots of characters at C6 R5 or with a couple of constellations. So the power boost is really not needed for me to clear the Spiral Abyss, which is the most difficult content in the game. But secondly, generally, I'm someone that loves playing off of the book. I don't like taking someone else's recipe and then sort of like learning how to play it, and then I get bored of the game and I'm like, Mioyo, where's the content? I'm generally someone that loves using off-meta teams just to try and understand all the different dynamics and aspects of the game, and perhaps like sort of see what works and what doesn't work. And through like a large body of like experimentation and trying out different things, I generally can come up with some principles and that can help people in their own gameplay, because whether you like it or not, a lot of people, especially free to play players, don't have Bennett, they don't have Kazuha at the proper constellations, they don't have Xiongling with all the constellations and investment. Most of the time, people just want like a simple answer, and that is, what do I do with my account? What are the principles that I can use to make myself better? And that's sort of what I generally try and demonstrate. And if I use Bennett, then essentially I'm just trivializing the game and I'm hiding a lot of the nuance in terms of how you should dodge, how you should think about healing, etc. And that is what people don't get. So people come into my comment section and they'll be like, well, why do you use Kokomi? Use Barbara with thrilling tales of Dragon Slayer. And it's like, yeah, there are situations, but you guys don't understand the principles. You're taking a recipe that someone else has given you and you're just verbatim spitting it in the comment section. And that's sort of what I hate. So for instance, a very good example of this is someone's going to comment and be like, why on earth are you using Bennett and Kokomi in the same team? And generally, I agree, you don't use Bennett and Kokomi because the one is a defensive support Kokomi and Bennett's an offensive support. So you put Kokomi with the freeze teams and Bennett like here with your hyper carry to enable all the collective buffing. That's sort of how it works. But you lose the nuance of trying to see what happens if you put them together. And by using characters like Bennet and Kazuha and Venti, you are sort of almost skipping a certain essential learning curve in the game. And that's like why I don't use them. So yeah, that is like my opinion on like why I don't generally use them unless I really want to speed run, which is like the second half of this video. And what you'll basically see in the background is me doing a lots of like attempts to do speed running, and yeah, it didn't really go well. Obviously I'll show you like the successful attempts at the end of the video, but here's the big kicker, and this is the big point that I want to make. Even with Bennett, you don't get consistency. Like, you have to go through the speed running, like often, like let's say you want to turbo clear stuff like I'm doing right now, you've got to wait on RNG, you've got to make sure that your Raiden Shogun like hits all three characters, and there's like so much RNG. So when a character like Kokomi came out, I suddenly had a character that I knew exactly how much damage she's going to do, how much healing. There was so much consistency that I could use the character properly, and that's why I love Kokomi. Because I don't need to like get like, look here, my Raiden Shogun literally didn't crit. We missed the Kujasara buff, bad positioning. We didn't get what we needed, and that is like very inconsistent in terms of gameplay. Even if you've got the Bennet buff, and that's not really what I like. I personally like consistency, and I like getting consistent principles when I play the game. So that is also my biggest sort of, and I think it's a bit of like an abstract reason, but why I don't really like Bennett at all, because I'm not guaranteed any outcome like this as well. I mean, we didn't crit on the Ruin Guard here, and this run is over. So yeah, hopefully you guys can get or understand my perspective. I've got no hate towards Bennett. He's a really awesome character, and if you really want to sort of use him like properly to do speed runs, and that's sort of how I'm gonna sort of end off this video. I'll give you like three separate attempts where I sort of cleared this spiral abyss in less than 15 seconds. Just one interesting thing to note about the clock is the clock rounds down in Genshin Impact. So when you see 9:45, it actually is like 14 point something. And that you can sort of confirm if you do like a frame by frame count on the clock itself. This is my second fastest attempt, and then I will just after this we'll go into the fastest attempt. So please enjoy. Cheers.
裁きの雷みんなは俺が守れ桜裁きよ雷に捧ぐ無我の境地